right. Wow, you guys showed up fast. Okay. All right. So it's been a little while, a couple of weeks, and for the record, no, I have not been wearing this shirt the whole time. I have changed my clothes. I just happened to be wearing this one, the last one too. Yeah. I didn't really plan out what to say here. Um, I just wanted to get online and just give you guys a brief update about where I've been at for the last couple of weeks. As you know, anyone who watched the last live stream know that I had pretty shocking death in the family, and I didn't really. I had a tough. I've had a tough time dealing with it, and I'm still dealing with it, which is why I haven't been reviewing shows or been online very much. And I just wanted to give you guys a brief update of like where I'm at and like what I've been doing. And basically, uh, I've been trying to clean up all of my dad's stuff, and unfortunately, Dad was a pretty serious pack rat. He had a lot of stuff, and it's pretty much up to me, and some family friends are helping out, and my brother is here a few days here and there, but he doesn't live here. He doesn't live in this area. He lives in the city, so he's back in there now, and he's taking care of his stuff, and I'm pretty much like the task of cleaning everything up in my dad's place falls to me because I'm the one who's around. And he had so much stuff. Jesus Christ. It took us, me, my brother, and a bunch of other people, it took us like 6 days just to get the downstairs presentable so that we could have like people over. Because now it's just me cleaning out stuff. And yeah, Dad, he collected so many things. And the whole house is just full of just stuff you couldn't even imagine because he had an art collection and a book collection and a coin collection and a gun collection, and the whole house is just full of papers and forms and files and just piles and piles of miscellaneous shit. And there's so much to that seems important and so much that doesn't seem important, and I don't know what's important and what isn't. It is this gigantic, colossal nightmare that I just never wanted to deal with. But now I'm stuck dealing with it, and it's really frustrating. And I'm still trying to figure out how to deal with it. But I've been trying to clean out at least one or two bags of stuff a day. The basement alone is a nightmare because he had like all this junk, and like all his like financial stuff is down there, and then there's this whole other area where he had to work with like wood, and like he had a saw and a drill and all that stuff, and it was just piles and piles of like spare wood, and I've hauled out literally 4 huge garbage bags full of sawdust. And I never occurred to me what a gigantic fire hazard his house is. But I finally got that area clean. I got all the sawdust and all the miscellaneous wood out of there. Finally, that took a while. So it's hopefully the house is less of a fire hazard at this point. But I mean, it's just still a mess, and there's still so many things down there. And it's gonna take weeks, if not months, to clear everything out. But it's got to be done uh, because I guess the tentative idea is to put the house on the market once we cleaned everything out. Uh, but that's a few months in the future, I guess. I guess we're looking at maybe in the springtime, maybe. But I don't know yet. So for now, I'm just cleaning. I'm cleaning stuff out and trying to figure out how to deal with everything. And I've also, uh, Dad's credit card bill came in the mail, so that needs to be paid. Lucky me. And until the house is sold off, there's still bills coming in, so those have to be dealt with as well. It's just it's very frustrating, but that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. And I try to find some escapism where I can get it. Uh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine reruns are a godsend right now, just to get a few laughs in at some point in my day. Uh, so that's what I've been doing. Also, I've been debating whether or not to talk about this because it's still kind of a difficult thing to discuss. Um, After my dad died, my brother told me that the two of them had once discussed that Dad had apparently been researching autism because he thought I might have it. And so I talked to a family friend about this. And apparently he had talked to her about this as well, as had my mother. And it seems like they had talked to a lot of people about this, but they never talked to me about it. Because I guess this had been a thing for quite a while. And it seems like almost everybody knew something about it except me. And they never, I don't know, for one reason or another, they just never brought it up. And I don't know why. And the only explanation I could think of is Dad was in the hospital like a little over a year ago. And while I was there, I asked him why he had kept saying that he was okay when he obviously wasn't. Because if he'd said, I think something's wrong, I need to see a doctor or somebody, I could have called the ambulance a lot sooner than I had. But he kept saying he was fine. I'm fine. I'm okay. You don't need to do anything. And eventually, I did eventually call the ambulance, but I could have called him sooner had he said something. So I asked him, why didn't you say something? You kept saying you were fine, but clearly you weren't fine. So what gives? And he said I wasn't easy to talk to about stuff like that. So I don't know. And so I've been looking into this, uh, and apparently, like, trouble with empathy is like one of the it's one of like the symptoms or side effects or whatever of Asperger's. Uh, and it appears that's if I have some form of autism, that's probably what I have. Because talked to this family friend, and she's helping me out with this. Like, she's talking to like a specialist or something. I guess I'm gonna have to talk to this person at some point. But and she's helping me find stuff to read and try to figure out all this stuff. Yeah, I've taken a couple of online tests about this, and they all pretty much come back the same. I'm 50-50. I'm borderline. So I'm in that area where you can probably be diagnosed with Asperger's or some form of it. Because I guess it's more likely that I have it than I don't, and I don't I don't really know what to do. I don't I don't really know what to do about this yet, because I spent a lot of time thinking about why no one ever talked to me about this. Because I mean, if they suspected I might have some form of this for a while, it's like, well, why keep it to yourself? Maybe if they'd said something sooner, I wouldn't have. I don't know. Maybe I could have done something. Uh, and I don't want to be angry about it, but I don't know how else to feel. And I really wish I could have talked to my dad about this, but you know, that can't happen now. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Maybe I'll talk to the specialist at some point. I don't know what there is to be done about it. And it's 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 frustrating because on the one hand, it does maybe it's good to have an explanation for why I am the way I am, and a lot of the honestly, once I found out about this, I thought to myself, wow, my life makes a lot more sense all of a sudden, because a lot of the, and just a lot of things about me just kind of added up and just clicked into place when I heard about this. It's like, wow, that explains so much. So on the one hand, maybe it's good to have an explanation for all of that, but on the other hand, it's like, well, if this is Asperger's or autism or something, then it's not something that I can fix. It's just something I have to live with, and I don't. It's I'm not at a place yet where I know what to do about it, and I'm trying to be at peace with the whole thing, but I'm not there yet, and I don't know when I will be. So this is right after the shit hit the fan, so I kind of had a whole lot of stuff just dropped in my lap all at once, and I'm still trying to find a way to deal with everything. So, so that's where I'm at. Um, Also, no wait, yeah. So that's what I've been doing. You may have heard me or read my Twitter. I talked about this a little bit on Twitter back when I was still kind of freaking out about the whole thing, and this is probably the first time I've been able to talk about it without crying. So maybe that's a good thing. I still don't know what I'm gonna do about it, or if I can do anything about it. I guess I'm still finding that out. I watched like a kind of a mini documentary on here the other day from made by this girl who has Asperger's, and I was like, wow, some of this stuff feels really kind of hits home. It's like a lot of this feels like stuff that I've experienced in my life. I never really connected the dots. Uh, I kind of casually thought about it once or twice in the past, but I never really thought seriously about it. Like maybe if I actually do have this. So I didn't know, and I'm only kind of finding out after the fact now, and I can't talk about any talk about it with my parents, and it's frustrating, but I just have to find a way to deal with it now, I guess. I guess I'm still processing the whole thing. That's why I haven't really been around lately. And I don't know when I'm gonna be back to doing this and review and to doing what I normally do full time. I just don't. I think about reviewing. I feel like I think about reviewing Impact or whatever, and it's like my heart just isn't in it right now. I just got just so much other stuff to think about. So I don't know. I guess it's one of those things that just takes time to deal with and figure out. That's where I'm at. Uh, or maybe I just need to change or something different. Because this family friend I've been talking to, she did say that I should try to like get back into my comfort zone. Um, but like I said, the wrestling is just my head's just not in it. I mean, I'm trying to continue on with this Impact Asylum booking challenge thing. Because if you don't know about that, over on ImpactAsylum.net, there's this competition where you enter it and you fantasy book the first 6 impacts after Bound for Glory, and I've been trying to do that. I still don't know if I'll be able to finish. I've got 2 more installments to write. It's 6 Impact shows and then a pay-per-view at the end. So I've got the first. I've got my first. I think my first 4 are up, and the number 5 gets submitted on Tuesday. That's finished, and then I got 1 more to write after that, and then a pay-per-view. And ever since the trouble started, I've had a really hard time concentrating. So these things are taking me a long time. So maybe after that, I can focus on something else. And I honestly didn't expect I'd stay in it afterward, but it's just, I don't know. I started it, so I wanted to finish it, And what else? All right, so after that, I don't know if my head's going to be in the wrestling yet, but there is something else I've been thinking about. And this is something I talked a little bit about before. And it's something that I was planning to do before I got hit with all this crap. But basically, what I was doing, like the superhero review show thing. And I did that for a while, and you may notice that I have not been doing it this season because at the end of the last TV season, I felt like I needed some kind of a change. And I wanted to make the reviews like bigger and better, and I'd grown kind of restless with doing them the way that I had because the show hadn't really been growing. It was pretty much like the same people showing up every week, and I appreciated that, but it was always playing to a very small audience, and I wanted to be able to make it, like, grow it and make it better and make the reviews like more professional and stuff. And that's what I was kind of toying with, and I was getting ready to start doing that, but then everything happened, and I get sidetracked and everything. But once this booking challenge thing is finished, I've been thinking seriously about starting that up, and I don't know. How do I say this? I don't know if I'd be able to like make it work or anything, but I really wanted to just give it a shot because honestly, it was something I was thinking about for a long time. Because I've been doing this just like the wrestling stuff for so long. I felt like maybe I don't know. Maybe I just needed a change. Maybe I just needed to try something new or different or whatever. So I really wanted to give this a shot, and I actually done a fair amount of work on it. Um, a I was thinking about reviewing Supergirl because I haven't really watched Supergirl. I've seen like 2 episodes of it back in like season 1, and it seemed like pretty juicy review fodder. Uh, maybe I don't know if it would draw as much of my my bile as like The Flash or Legends of Tomorrow or something, but I thought I could have fun reviewing something like that. So I thought I might give it a shot. I really wanted to do like something in like the style of like SF Debris. If you've never seen his reviews, you should because they're awesome. Are also Obscurus Lupa, or I guess she's just Alison Pregler now, but she's got that Movie Nights channel, and she does that show Baywatching, where she kind of reviews like episodes of Baywatch, 1 episode at a time. Something like that. I really wanted to try something like that, and I've pretty much got everything I need at this point. Um, and also, I've been trying to identify areas where this Asperger's thing may have held me back, and like nerves is definitely one of those things because I wanted to do this for a while, but it kept getting derailed for one reason or another, and one of those is probably just anxiety because that's something that I've dealt a lot with over my life. I don't know, just maybe just fear of failing at it or something like that. I don't know, but I really just wanted to give this a shot because I did I have done a lot of thinking about how I wanted to do it, and I did stuff to get ready. I started a new channel for it. I made graphics and logos and stuff like that. So I really just the last thing to do. I mean, that's what I got the microphone for. It's over here, and I really just like the last thing to do is just to just like start it, you know. So I want to try to do that after this booking challenge thing is finished. So I don't know. It's usually takes about a week to write each entry in that. So I got 2 more. The 6th one is just a pay per view, so that'll go quick. So I pretty much know how that's gonna be laid out. But I still have to write week 6, and that one is not presenting itself to me in my head yet. I know the stuff that I want to happen, but then I looked at my notes the other day and like, oh well, I didn't really book any matches. I've got all the storylines, but none of the matches. So I gotta go back and do some work on that. Thankfully, I got like a little under, I don't know, like 10 days or something. But I can't seem to get these things in under 9 pages because I always end up writing just way too much. They're just always just so long and detailed, and now my OCD won't allow me to write them any other way. A funny thing about that is on week 1, I wrote like easily the longest entry, where everybody else's was on the short side. And now, ever since then, everybody else is writing them longer and longer and longer, while I'm trying to make mine shorter and shorter. So far, the shortest I've gotten mine is 9 pages for one entry. I don't know why I did this to myself. Because the words, I'm still having trouble concentrating, and the words aren't coming to me easily. So it just takes forever to crank one of these things out, and I just want to be done with it so I can move on to something else. Oh, God. But yeah, if you guys wanted to check that out, you can go to impactasylum.net. Uh, I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. Actually, I could post a link to it. Hang on. We're actually 5 weeks. I think now 4 weeks in. I think. Hang on. Let me check. Yeah, we're up to week 4. So you'd have to go back to, let's see, the, all right, go back to page 5, impactasylum.net. I will post a link right here. All right. All right. So this is the link. Ah. All right. Well, this is. All right. Here is the link to the page with week 1 on it, and then it's like every other page. So there's the link to week 1, and so we're booking like the first 6 weeks of television after Bound for Glory, and I think like half the people in the competition have dropped out now, which is kind of a little annoying because I started in fifth. I started in fifth place, I think, and now I've worked my way up to third place. So I'm moving up the leaderboard every week, but now it looks a lot less impressive because there's only like 5 or 6 of us left. So, so I'm in the middle of the leaderboard again, where I should when I was nearing the top. But yeah, so it's up there. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you guys wanted to read it, it takes a while, because like I said, I wrote a lot of stuff, but but that's how I do it, and I really just I want to just get this thing finished so I can focus on something else. And you know, let's see what you guys are talking about. Kind of let's see. I have autism spectrum disorder. Do you? Are you like able to function and like do stuff that other people do? Because I mean, I gotta get used to talking about this. I have trouble doing that sometimes. You know, I don't like going out all the time. I don't like being around big crowds of people. Uh, don't like loud noises. Uh, I've been thinking a lot about this, and sometimes I wonder that maybe like the reason why I like YouTube so much is because it's easier talking to people this way than it is in real life. Because in socializing, it's hard, like, especially like more than one person. It's like, well, how do you insert yourself into conversations or something? I don't know. It's just I got a lot to think about with that. I haven't really talked to a specialist yet. I guess that's probably gonna happen at some point, but let's see. Asperger's is a high functioning form of autism. I have it, but a lot of the times people with Asperger's you won't notice that they act differently unless you examine stuff very closely. Yeah, that sounds right. I mean, a lot of the things about the way I am, I thought that was just normal stuff. Now I'm finding out maybe it's not. Maybe it's because of this, you know. And like I said, it's one thing to have an explanation, but if it's a condition that there's no cure for, it's like then I just have to deal with it somehow. It's just I'm not I'm not at a place yet where I know what to do about it, and it's just I don't know how long it's gonna take. When it rains, it fucking pours. Yeah, yeah. And there was actually more stuff that I didn't even mention. it's uh, it's it's been a rough couple of weeks. It's Uh, let's see. Don't do anything about it right now. Give it time. Uh, I'm trying. I'm trying. It's okay to be angry as someone with Asperger's myself. It can be a bitch to find out about it later in life. I'm 37 and I only found out about it last year. Well, yeah, that sounds pretty familiar. Yes, it would have been. I think about what a difference this would have made if I'd found out when I was a kid. But because now I'm second guessing everything I've ever done now, and I think about things I did when I was a kid or a teenager, and it's like, god damn, it's like it's a wonder I had any friends at all. Just, I guess I'm still angry about it. Maybe you should do reviews again to keep you occupied. You need a distraction. That's what I'm thinking. I just want to get this booking challenge thing done, and then I can focus on that more. Getting into your thing there. Now you seem to have perked up some. Well, a little bit. I think I've cried enough for a while. Uh, took took a few weeks to get to that point. I'm still kind of having a tough time, but I don't know. Okay. Sorry for your loss. Thank you. A lot of people have reached out and just offered me a lot of encouragement and stuff. I feel bad because I haven't really responded to a lot of people. It's just for a while I just wasn't looking at Twitter, and I just didn't want to look at my responses and DMs because I didn't want to be reminded of everything. And I'm just starting to think that I need to start doing that. I guess I'm notoriously bad at responding to people and like responding to emails and phone calls and stuff. And now I think about, yeah, a lot of the time when I was a kid, or even or a teenager, or even later than that, I get like really nervous every time I'd have to talk on the phone. I didn't really think anything of it. It just I didn't know where it came from. Just thought it was one of those things. Maybe it was because of this. Because maybe I'm just wired differently that way. It just makes me think about a lot of stuff, and a lot of these anxiety issues. I guess they were always there. Um, I had problems with depression for, I guess, since pretty early on. Stuff I've never really talked about before on here. Maybe it was all tied together. It just sucks that I can't talk to my parents about this now. Asperger's gives those like myself issues with dealing with people, especially face to face. It's manageable with practice. Face to face, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Probably never brought up the autism issue because they felt not bringing it up was protecting you. Yeah, that's I don't know. That's the excuse. That's the reasoning that my family friend gave, maybe. But she also said that she was a little angry that my parents never like discussed it with me. Maybe they thought they were protecting me. I don't know. Guess I'll never know. But I wish they'd said something. Maybe I could have done something about this sooner than now. And now it's just this gigantic nightmare because I feel kind of lost about it. But I got someone helping me with it. So there's some stuff I've been looking at. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. All right, where the hell was I? What do you think of the Rich Swann situation? Oh wow, that. I just heard about that a couple minutes ago before I started this. How the hell does something like that happen? I mean, this guy. I mean, I know a little bit about him. I mean, I know he had a hard life, a rough childhood, stuff like that. But he pushes through all the crap he's had to deal with in his life, and he makes it to the big stage where he's making the big money, and he's got fame and success and financial independence and stability, and then he fucks it all up by doing something stupid like this. How the hell does that happen? What an idiot! He's probably going to get fired from WWE because of this, and I can't understand for the life of me how he would let something like that happen after like the rough life that he's had, and now he's finally having like all this huge success, and then he fucks it all up by being stupid, like, doing something stupid like this. What, kidnapping, assault, and battery? What an idiot! How do you fuck up an opportunity like this? I mean, that's like winning the lottery and then trading your winning lottery ticket for some magic beans or something. It's I, I don't know. He'll probably lose his job with WWE because of this. Got no one to blame but himself. What a shame. I like Rich Swann. I haven't watched 205 Live because I don't have the network, but I enjoyed him. I thought he had a lot of charisma. I thought that guy could have been a star. And now he screwed all that up. Dummy. Congratulations, you are me. Wow, you're describing me. I'm getting freaked. Wow. I guess it's helpful to know that there's other people out there dealing with the same thing I am. Yeah. Okay. What do you think of a WWE Diva Stable absolution? Uh, uh, what are their names? Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville. Those are names. I think Paige should have left them in NXT. And if she was going to bring somebody up from developmental, why the hell wasn't it Nikki Cross? Or, what the hell is what they call how are they calling Athena now? Ember Moon. Why didn't they bring up those two? Do those two really need to be in developmental? Instead, she picks these two. Every time I see Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, I just think, what the hell are they doing on the main roster? Every time they cut a promo, I just want someone to turn their microphones off. These two are going over like a lead balloon so far. I haven't been paying a lot of attention to Raw, but I have noticed that they don't seem to be getting any much of a reaction at all. I think people like Paige, but these two, I don't see any chemistry there. I just see two people who don't belong on the main roster yet. If it wasn't for work, I wouldn't leave my house. Yeah, that sounds like me. Oh my god, oh my god. Did something happen? I spent too much time indoors. Let's just say it drove me mad. Well, I don't know. I'm comfortable indoors. I don't really like going out that much. I don't know. I feel safe indoors. Plus, I've got like chronic allergies, so every time I go out, it just gets all stuffy and everything. So I like being inside where I can kind of control the air quality a little bit, and I can breathe better. Let's see, definitely better to find out as a kid. I found out when I was 7. Diagnosed when you were 3. Uh, wow. Well, you're lucky. I'm just finding out about this now as an adult. I've got no idea how to handle it. Let's see. Uh, Thoughts on Don Callis joining Impact? Hope you feel better soon. Thank you. Uh, I'm Thoughts on Don Callis and I guess Scott Demore as well, because I guess they're going to be like co-senior VPs of the company. I think it's a good thing. I'm glad that they're bringing up executives who actually know what they're doing and don't seem to have an agenda of any kind. Because Jeff Jarrett, give him credit, he knows a lot about the wrestling business, but the guy was also very self-serving, and he was very much looking out for his own interests and his own people first, and everybody else second. And that's why whenever Jeff was there, we also had Karen there as well. Um, so you really had to take the good with the bad, or the bad with the good with Jeff Jarrett. I don't feel like there's any of that stuff with Scott Demore and Don Callis. Plus, Don Callis has those connections in New Japan, so that could be beneficial in the future. And just promoting people who know what they're doing. I'm very happy it was it's people like Don Callis and Scott Demore over somebody like a John Gaburik. Apparently, Gaburik is on the way out. Good. Do I see it as a positive? A pretty big positive, actually. Whether it will lead to positive change is yet to be seen, but I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. Let's see. Yeah, what did you think of the Infinity War trailer? I think it looks pretty awesome. Um, I trust Marvel is going to get this right. This is what they've been building to for what, 10 years, something like 15, 16, 17 movies. They haven't dropped the ball on the MCU yet, so I trust they're going to deliver something really spectacular here. And I'm after Justice League, I'm ready for something awesome from Marvel, because Justice League, while it wasn't the worst thing ever, it left a lot to be desired. Sure, you're so fucking excited for Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I got my ticket for The Last Jedi, I think back in October, and it's just been sitting here for weeks, and so I've been looking forward to that. I think it's I think it's on Thursday now. Yeah, so I'm going to like the midnight screenings on Thursday. Well, midnight. I think it's my show is actually at I think around 7:30. So I'm looking forward to this for a long time. It's nice to have good Star Wars movies again. After the unfortunate nature of the prequels, but we're finally getting good Star Wars movies. I really like The Force Awakens a lot. Rogue One, while it had some issues, I still very much enjoyed Rogue One, and I'm really excited for this one. Can't wait to see Luke. I love Luke. When I was a kid, I wanted to be Luke Skywalker, so I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with him. I really hope they don't kill him off. I'm sure they won't. If they're gonna kill Luke, it'll be in the third one. But also, last time we're gonna see Princess Leia. It's gonna be sad. I just hope they have some way to write her out that is respectful and won't screw with the story they were telling too much. You know, there's only so many things they can do about it, but I'm really excited for the movie. Okay. Let's see, how you doing? I'm doing the best I can. I'm not gonna say I'm doing well yet, but I'm trying. If you had a chance to check out The Punisher or Runaways, I finished The Punisher. I have to say that was the wrong kind of escapism at the wrong time. 'Cause I'm looking for something to give me a laugh and take my mind off of things, and I turn on The Punisher, where he's just mowing down people and just shooting dudes in the head and just and stuff, and like, oh man, this is not what I should be watching right now. But I finished it. I enjoyed it. I They made some really strange choices because in large part it felt like that was a really long process just to get Frank to more or less the same place he was at the end of Daredevil season 2, because he does a little bit of punishing in the first episode and like the first couple of minutes, and then he takes the skull emblem off, and then we don't see it again until like the end of the season. Spoilers, sorry. But until then, it's like all just Frank being Frank and doing Frank stuff. And I'm not saying it was bad. It wasn't. It was just something different than what I was expecting. And I kind of thought there'd be more stuff with the Punisher and not just Frank Castle being Frank Castle, you know. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I really enjoyed it. I think the acting was solid. The way the stuff they did with Billy Russo at the end, I thought was really good. And set up, you know, what's to come for him in the future. I thought that was a really good way to do that. I kept wondering throughout the whole season, how are they going to set up his future, you know, identity? You know, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it. But the way they ended up doing it, I thought, that's good. That's really cool. So I enjoyed The Punisher. Kind of annoyed that we didn't get to see the minigun at any point. Runaways, I haven't seen that. I believe Runaways is on Hulu, which I don't pay for, and honestly, it's not in the budget right now. Maybe if I can find it somewhere else, I'll check it out. But I don't really have any affinity with the Runaways comics. I've flipped through them once or twice. I know kind of the basic plot, but I've heard good things about it, so I want to check it out at some point, but I don't want to pay for another streaming service or whatever Hulu is right now, because I'm trying to limit my expenses right now. But I heard it's good, so I definitely want to check that out. Let's see. I think it's worse that Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan are on SmackDown. Yeah, I saw that. It's like they bring in these three girls on Raw, and then they do like the same thing on SmackDown, where they kind of look they even kind of look similar. It's like, well, Ruby Riott is like Paige except with a bunch of tattoos. It's like it's like the same thing on both shows now. I tend to think that the girls on SmackDown will have a better shot at getting over, just because I don't think very highly of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville right now. I don't think I've seen them in the ring yet, but I know Crazy Mary Dobson, I guess, formerly known as, now she's Sarah Logan, I guess. I guess she's on the SmackDown group of girls, and I really like her a lot. I thought she really impressed me when I watched her indie stuff. So that's not really somebody. I don't think that's somebody who really needed to be in developmental. Maybe to work on character stuff, but I mean, wrestling wise, she's got it. So I tend to think the SmackDown girls are probably have a better shot at getting over than this Absolution thing, which so far has just felt dead on arrival. I think Paige just needs to ditch those two girls and just go alone. Um, but yeah, it did seem weird how one stable debuts on Raw, then another one on SmackDown that looks just like the one on Raw. Really there was no other way you could have done this. Were you that devoid of ideas that you had to just do the same thing again? um, all right, let's see. The only good thing that came out of the prequels was Christopher Lee as Count Dooku. And Darth Maul. Darth Maul was cool. I sold New Mutants 87 and 98 for almost nothing on eBay and not in 2008. Fuck FML. Um, are those worth... Are those comics worth something? New Mutants 87 and 98? Are those, like, worth money? Because I think I actually have those. There was a point when I was buying up all... I was collecting the original run of the New Mutants. I think I might have those issues, actually. Is there something about those that is relevant that would make them worth something? Because I know Cable and Deadpool debuted around that time. Did Deadpool show up in X-Force? Anyway. Yeah, I think Deadpool showed up early on in X-Force. The Cable showed up in the New Mutants. I think I might have those issues. I'd have to check, but let's see. What did you think about the Justice League movie? Well, it was more cohesive than I expected. You got you have two radically different filmmakers both putting their stamp on this, but it didn't feel that it didn't feel that schizophrenic. I thought there was gonna be like more of a tonal clashing in there, but there wasn't. At least not as much as I thought there would be. You could definitely tell that some parts were done by Snyder and some parts were made by Whedon. You can definitely like tell like some of the humor was Whedon stuff, and you still got Snyder doing the slow motion turns into speed up, turns into slow motion thing. There's still some of that in there. But overall, I think it was about as consistent as it could have been, considering. I wasn't in love with the story, though. I mean, you could definitely tell that this would have benefited from more setup. I'm going to assume that you guys have seen Justice League here. But the whole stuff with the mother boxes just feels like a big MacGuffin. No setup for that at all. I mean, you've seen how in the MCU, they've been setting up the Infinity Stones since the first Captain America movie. Yeah, I think that's where the first one showed up. And they've been teasing these things for years over multiple movies. And here they do Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, not counting Wonder Woman because that was kind of its own thing and didn't really tie into the larger narrative in any way. And then they just go right into Justice League and then, hey, here's some other boxes. It's like, okay, what's a mother box? Okay, explain this to me like I don't know anything about DC Comics or anything. If I'm a newbie just watching this for the first time and you say, mother box, all right, what the fuck is a mother box? I don't know. You never explained it. You just dropped it in my lap like this. Oh, and apparently there's several of these things scattered all over the earth. Well, that seems like something that could have been set up in previous films. You could have dropped that information. You could have dropped tidbits of that into Man of Steel or something. They were never even mentioned until now. So the whole thing just feels like it's coming right out of nowhere. And honestly, the whole plot just feels pretty weak. And it doesn't help that Steppenwolf isn't much of an interesting bad guy. You know, they say, I guess the running issue with the Marvel movies is that the villains tend to be on the weak side. And just like this, like the stereotypical two-dimensional, muaha-haing villain who just wants to destroy everything or take over the world or something like that. And like their villains don't always have like as much depth as you want them to. And that's pretty much the issue with Steppenwolf. He's just an evil guy who wants to take over the world. And I guess he tried to do this like hundreds of years ago or something, and he failed. And now he's going to do it again. Oh, and now, there's no one to stop him except Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, the Flash, and Cyborg, and all those people. Oh yeah. Those people have no chance. I mean, the world was saved without them before, but I enjoyed parts of it. Some of the casting was a little weird. I think the Cyborg casting was all right. That was fine. I ended up liking Jason Momoa as Aquaman, although I think I don't know why they cast him as Aquaman instead of Lobo. Because I mean, wouldn't Jason Momoa make a better Lobo? I don't know how you wound up with him as Aquaman. I thought he did well though. Although I admit I have no affinity whatsoever for the character of Aquaman, so I just I liked him in the movie, so I figured okay, he's Aquaman now. The Flash was weird. I know very little about the Flash from the comics, but as I understand it, Barry Allen isn't really the jokey guy. Isn't that supposed to be Wally West? Wasn't Wally more of a joker in the comics? He's just like he's kind of just like the comic relief guy, and it's just I don't know. It's just the stuff with him and his dad worked, but otherwise, I mean, he was. I don't know. He's the comic relief guy. Not all the jokes. Some of the jokes worked, and some of them kind of didn't. So I don't know. And apparently they're going to do like Flashpoint is going to be the Flash's first solo movie. Hey, how about a Flash origin movie before you do fucking Flashpoint? I mean, because you've never actually done a Flash origin movie before. I'd actually like to see that. But no, we're going straight into Flashpoint now. One of the most, probably, arguably, like the most controversial Flash story ever written. Why? Oh, man. All right. Any thoughts on Disney buying Fox? Well, supposedly this is pretty close to happening, or at least that's what I heard. And this means that Marvel could get the X-Men rights back. And Fantastic Four, if anyone cares about that. I don't, but Marvel could get the rights to the X-Men back, which means they could hopefully get back to producing good X-Men comics. And means we could reboot the X-Men movies and start fresh, which I think is kind of needed at this point, because Fox's X-Men movies are getting very continuity heavy and convoluted and all that stuff, and I'm not sure if the original trilogy of films are still in continuity or they're not. Aren't they? I don't know anymore. I suspect they're not, but who knows? But they've done a lot of those things now, And I think just starting fresh would be best for the X-Men movies, and to get to see them in the MCU and maybe interacting with like Tony and Cap and Spider-Man and all those things. I'd love to see that. Um, there is a downside to that, and that if they bought Disney bought Fox, they'd get all of Fox's other properties, and there would be there. I know there's some concern that they want to sanitize and uh, Disneyify all the rated R properties, which not a lot of people want to see. I don't want to see a PG-13 Deadpool or a PG-13 Alien movies. So I guess that's a concern. My hope is that they would just buy Fox, and instead of just dismantling it and just taking the properties and run, they just continue to run it as a separate entity. Maybe make that like a Disney offshoot, where like for more mature projects. So I don't want to see like the rated R stuff get turned into PG-13 stuff. I don't want to see that. Um, and hopefully the success of Logan and Deadpool will convince Disney that there's money to be made with like the more mature films. So we'll see. But I'm really hoping that Marvel get the rights to the X-Men back, because that's the X-Men have been maligned and kept on the sidelines long enough, because like, oh, we don't own the film rights to the X-Men, so we can't have them as like the cornerstone of the Marvel universe in the comics anymore. So let's just do a bunch of stuff with the Inhumans. The Inhumans don't really work like that. The Inhumans are more like side characters. They're not the X-Men. You know, the X-Men used to be like the premier team of the Marvel universe. It's not really like that anymore. Now, you know, there's like 10 Avengers books, and the X-Men comics they're just terrible right now. I haven't read them in ages. You know, they're still doing that thing with like the original team coming from the past to the present, or maybe they're from another like a parallel Earth now or something. It's so stupid, because they're not allowed to make new mutant characters, because Ike Perlmutter won't let them, because they'd just be given the rights would just go to Fox. They'd just be giving Fox more characters, so they can't make new characters. So they're just rehashing all the old ones over and over, and it's stupid. The X-Men comics suck right now. Of course, Marvel comics in general suck right now. Thank God Axel Alonso's gone. I don't envy C.B. Cebulski. I mean, he's got a... God, well, good Lord, that guy has a mess to clean up. But it can happen. Let's see. I bet this Woken storyline won't even last a month. It'll crash and burn. Oh, I fully expect they're gonna butcher that gimmick. I think we're gonna find out pretty quickly that it wasn't just Matt Hardy who had his hands in the pie, because you know there were probably a lot of other people who had creative input into the broken gimmick. We saw at Slammiversary that you know, JB was probably heavily involved in that, because he produced, I believe he produced that match, the JB and Joseph Park versus Josh Matthews and Scott Steiner thing. I think that was JB's baby at Slammiversary, and that came off great. So we'll see. You know, WWE tried to ape the broken universe thing once before with the New Day and the Wyatts, and that didn't work. Now they're going to try it again. So we'll see. I'm not optimistic about it. Let's see. Deadpool debuted in 98 and Cable in 87. I am like... Okay, so Deadpool debuts in New Mutants 98, Cable in New Mutants 87. I am like 98% sure I have both of those issues. I'm positive I have the Cable one. Unfortunately, wherever that issue is, it's pretty beat up at this point. But I do have that one. I'm almost positive I have the Deadpool one. I don't know what that would be worth now. But you got me interested to find that one out. For the record, I also have Ultimate Spider-Man #1, not the Miles Morales, like the original one that like launched the Ultimate Universe. I have that one. I did never expected it to become a collector's item, but apparently might be worth a few bucks at this point. So that's cool. What do you think of the new season of Agents of Shield so far? Pretty cool stuff. I heard that they had a reduced budget this season, but you couldn't tell because I mean some of the visuals they've come up with have been really impressive. I haven't actually seen like the season premiere in its entirety because I had other stuff going on happening that day. It's real life stuff. It was just TV was like the last thing in my mind. But I've seen parts of the premiere, and I saw the third episode last Friday. I'm enjoying it. I'm not sure how long they can do this trapped in the future thing, but it's really cool so far. I understand that Ian DeCasticker was shooting a movie, so they didn't have him for the first couple episodes. But I'm really interested to see what they're doing. Apparently, like Fitz is in the past trying to work out what happened to them, and he's maybe these people on the planet are like his are people that he brought together or something, and they're gonna find a way to get back to the past or something. So it's really cool. I'm enjoying it. I continue to be impressed with how the show is constantly reinventing itself and pushing into new territory and trying new things. So it's really cool. I think Flint from the Inhumans comics is supposed to show up. I don't know if that's next week or was it this week. I'm not sure, but it's pretty cool stuff so far. Let's see. Ah. They will fuck up Flashpoint too. Well, their track record doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. I have no idea why they would start with Flashpoint. Do a Flash origin movie first. You're skipping over the fucking origin. What? I mean, this isn't like Batman, where we've seen his origin in movies like I don't know how many times. You know, this has been done and redone in movies and TV and comics and cartoons. It's like even if you don't know, if you've never read a Batman comic before, you know Batman's origin. Flash isn't like that. We've never actually seen Flash's origin told on the big screen before. Start with that. Why are you starting with Flashpoint? Right out of the gate, you're doing a time travel thing? Same goddamn mistake that the showrunners of the Flash TV show made. They don't know how to do time travel. I think they've proven that by now. I have no confidence that the movie makers are going to be able to do time travel either. I think Arrow has jumped the shark. Any thoughts? I actually haven't been watching Arrow. I kind of wanted to switch to just letting the whole season play out and then binge watching it when it goes on Netflix. So I actually haven't seen Arrow. I know some of the stuff that happened. I guess apparently Oliver and Felicity got married. Yay. I ceased to care about that relationship a while ago. I kind of just want Felicity to go away at this point, but so I guess they got hitched. And also Barry and Iris too. Oh God, thank the Lord I'm not watching The Flash anymore. How did they jump the shark though? Honestly, I don't know. Finally got an SNES Classic. Oh, there's a website I found. I don't know if anybody else, if you guys know about this, but Play Retro Game. I think. Hang on. What is it? I think it's playretrogamesonline.com. Yeah. No, playretrogames.com, where you can play all these all these old classic video games, and there's a bunch of old original NES games. I got to play all these games that I played when I was a little kid, like Metroid and stuff, like the original Metroid. So that was pretty cool. Let's see. I have ADHD for real, so I kind of know how you feel. I've got ADD too, so. Have you seen any of the Orville or Star Trek Discovery? I watched the first episodes of both. The Orville was interesting. I've been watching Mundane Matt's reviews of the Orville, and I think I'm just gonna. That's another one. I'm just gonna wait for it to go online because I think the first season has ended now. So I'll wait for it to go online somewhere, binge watch it. Discovery, I watched the first episode, but I don't feel like paying for a new streaming service just to watch the rest. Figure maybe when the season is finished, I'll sign up for like that free trial period of CBS All Access, binge watch the whole show, and then cancel it so I don't have to pay anything. Maybe I'll do that. I watched the first episode and I kind of liked it at the time, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought this doesn't hold up, and there are a lot of inconsistencies and stuff that doesn't make sense. And I've been watching reviews of it, and it's like, oh wow, there's no attention to continuity, and characters just do whatever the plot needs them to do. The folks over at Midnight's Edge really don't like this show, and I'm not getting a good feeling about it. But I had reservations just by watching the pilot. It's like, well, why do the Klingons look so different? Why are they acting different? And it's like there's so many weird changes they made to the story and the universe, and it doesn't fill me with hope that this show is going to turn out good. But I guess they're getting a second season, so it's going to be around for a while. I was really impressed with the production values of the first episode, though. I mean, it looked like a movie, so they must have sunk a fortune into this project. So I'll watch the rest of the episodes at some point. Maybe when I don't have to pay for them, because I'm kind of in belt tightening mode right now. But I'm looking forward to watching the rest of the Orville. Not so much Star Trek Discovery. Maybe SF Debris can review those episodes at some point, because I love SF Debris' videos. I've rewatched his series of Star Trek Voyager reviews a couple of times, actually. They never cease to entertain me. Hear the rumors that Leonardo DiCaprio might be playing the Joker in the Joker origin movie. What is Jared Leto leaving? I heard Affleck wanted out after the Flashpoint movie, but is Jared Leto leaving too? Jesus. Oh man, they can't hang on to any of these cast members. Good Lord. Will you do a Last Jedi review video? I don't know when I'm gonna get back to making videos on a regular basis. If somebody wants to ask me about it, the next time I do a stream, I'll happily give my opinions on it. Thoughts on what could the Avengers 4 movie be about? Well, my understanding was that Avengers 3 is Infinity War, where Thanos is collecting all the Infinity Stones, and then number 4 will be Infinity Gauntlet, where the shit completely hits the fan. So I think 3 is kind of him just collecting all the stones and then probably like gathering all of them at the end, and then 6 is when he starts actually using the gauntlet, and then 4 is when he actually starts using the gauntlet. So that's where I think they're going. Is there some reason you can't watch Orville or Discovery on one of the many free sites? No. I'd have to find one of the free sites. They're not difficult to find. But there's only so many hours in the day, and I've had I've just had a lot on my plate. So one thing at a time. I've been watching Sword Art Online on Netflix. There's an anime that I hadn't been aware of previously, but I'm watching that one. That's what I'm watching right now. It's pretty good. After that, I don't know. Maybe I'll find the Orville somewhere. But yeah. So I don't know what the videos are going to be like going forward. Honestly, my heart's not really in the wrestling stuff right now. Maybe that's one of those things that just takes time to get back into. But I really wanted to start like the superhero show review series that I had been planning to start. Because I'd done work on it, and I know because I had like the new channel set up, and I had like I made an avatar and graphics and all that stuff, and I knew where I was gonna get like royalty free music and all that stuff. I had pretty much everything I needed, and then all this stuff started happening to me all at once. Debating whether or not I should show this. Damn, what the hell? Let's show it. Okay, I do have something I could show you guys. Hang on. Wait, so they are doing Infinity War Part 1 and 2. As I understand it, it's Infinity War and then Infinity Gauntlet. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's what they're doing, but that's what I heard. I've got something I can show you guys for the new channel. So, because in the past I was doing like the superhero show review series. I was doing it on this channel. This is going to be like a I really want to start up this new one, so I started a new channel for it, and I wanted to. If I was going to do this again, I wanted to do it seriously. And this wouldn't be a live stream. This would be like it's like SF Debris. It's like Obscurus Lupa or Allison, her Baywatching videos. It's going to be like it would be that style. And I've got stuff that I wanted to cover. I wanted to try Supergirl. I wanted to try Heroes too, because I always felt like I had a unique perspective on Heroes that has kind of been not a lot of people did, and I don't know if anyone would be interested in that, but I thought that would make for interesting review material there. So I have something I slapped together here, because for this series I'd be talking through an avatar, so I wouldn't have to appear on screen in person like this. So this is something I came up with a while ago, kind of by accident. But this is kind of what I'd be talking through, and also a logo that I kind of slapped together. My abilities with Photoshop are rudimentary would be generous, but this is kind of what it would look like. I got an avatar and a logo here. If you would you guys like to see that? Because I've got it loaded up here on Wirecast. I could play it for you, or if you just wanted to wait. The comments are not loading right now. All right, you know what? I'll just play it. Okay, this is an example of what it would look like. All right, so that's what I came up with. I'm hardly an expert at Photoshop and graphic design and stuff, but for me, I thought that was pretty good. So that's what I got. And all right, so any feedback you guys have, I'd appreciate it. So that's kind of what I'm going for. And yeah, I got the new channel set up. I'll let you guys know about that when I'm ready to start it. But that's what I got. There's going again. It's not bad. Not bad. I've seen worse. Not bad graphic. All right, cool. All right, so, all right. No one's tearing it apart as of yet. That's good. New X-Men trilogy, Logan versus Hulk, Rogue and Captain Marvel 2, and Storm and Black Panther 2, just name a couple of crossovers and the possibilities. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they could do like a whole phase, like a whole new phase of the MCU just on the X-Men. And they could do, then they could do all the spin-offs. They could do X-Factor and X-Force and the New Mutants the right way, not this haunted house crap that they're doing with that new movie. And just think about the stuff Deadpool could do, where he's like the one breaking the fourth wall. He's the one who's aware of all this weirdness, and he could make all these jokes about Disney buying the MC, about the rights going back to Marvel. He could think of all the jokes, all the fun Deadpool could have with that. There's a lot of things they could do. Have you tested out the new mic yet? Not yet, actually. Tell you what, the next stream, I will try to have the mic up and running. I keep meaning to test it out. I've been so preoccupied with all this other stuff that I'm dealing with. I just haven't gotten around to it. But once this booking challenge thing is done, I'll be able to focus on that other stuff. Okay, you know what? 10:15. All right, let's wrap this up in the next couple of minutes because I have to get up early tomorrow, and also I'd like to get some dinner and stuff. So, all right, you guys, you've got the link to week 1 of the booking challenge, and afterwards you just you go page by page, and they're on there. So if you guys wanted to read that, I'd love to hear what you thought about it, because that's the way I'd book Impact on the first 6 weeks after Bound for Glory. That's how I do it. And there's some really interesting ideas that the other people came up with too. So it's been interesting. It's just really time consuming though, because I've had a tough time concentrating the last couple of weeks. But can't get the booking website to work. I only get a blank page. All right. Here's what you do. If the link isn't working, open up a new window, go to impactasylum.net, go to the bottom, and go to page 4. See the blue buttons at the bottom, previously, next, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Go to page 4, and you'll see, nope, oh, actually, nope, I lied. Page 5. So, impactasylum.net, go to the bottom, see those blue buttons on there, I'll tell you what page to go to. You're going to want to go to page 5, and you'll see Impact Asylum Booking Challenge Week 1. And then afterwards, you just go up the pages, and you'll get everything up to week 4, which I believe is the most recent one. Yeah. So week 4 is on the main page right now. And that's as far as we've gotten so far. And week 5 is written. I'll be submitting that on Tuesday. And I still have to write week 6 and then the pay-per-view at the end. Okay. All right. And why don't you just tell me if that worked out for you? All right. Huh. Oh, I see. It hit the link. It just sent me to the main page. That's weird. Anyway. Works now. Okay, cool. If that's everything, might be a good time to end this. Because I got stuff to do. I've been working on the basement right now. And I've cleaned out a lot of the sawdust, but there's still so much junk down there. And now it's a matter of hauling it out and taking it to the dump and stuff. And we don't have the truck anymore, so it's a bit of a process. And I got to. I'm also working on Dad's closet because he had a lot of stuff in there, and so far I've filled up 6 big garbage bags full of his clothes that are going to Goodwill, and there's still a lot of junk in there. And this is going to take ages to clean this house out. The house out. It's going to take so long. I'm trying to get at least 1 bag full of stuff, or 1 or 2 bags full of stuff every day, but it just seems really daunting, and it's gonna take a while. So might have social anxiety disorder. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. So yeah. I guess that'll be a good place to end things for now. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I mean, people showed up really quickly, so I'm gonna try to do these a little bit more regularly, because I mean, talking about stuff definitely helped me the last time, because that night was rough. I didn't. I was really lost that night, and coming online and talking to you guys, it really helped me out that night. So I'm gonna try to do this a little more regularly. I don't know when I'll get back to doing the wrestling videos. Like I said, my heart's just not in it right now. I guess I just got to give it some time. But I'm coping with stuff as well as I can right now. There's just a lot of stuff to cope with. So I'm trying, and I really appreciate you guys just sticking with me, and everybody who I reached out to me, and people have been really helpful during this during this tough time. I just wanted to let you guys know how much I really appreciate everything that people have said and done. So you guys have been really cool, and I want to get back to conversing with everybody and interacting with you guys on a regular basis. It's just I'm not there yet, but I'm trying. So thanks to everybody who showed up, and I will talk to you guys uh, hopefully soon. Okay, see you later.